everybody. It's Mrs. Kennedy coming to you live from the Spark Lab. Woohoo! Today we're going to make a sled kite. So I'm going to show you some directions on how to do it. And you can make it by following along. While you're making it, you can stop the video and restart it at any time. So if it takes longer for you to do something, you can stop and wait for me to catch up. So I'm going to switch to my other camera here. All right, what you need for this project, you need a sheet of white paper. I picked a heavy paper like cardstock. You need a paper punch. You need a pair of scissors. You need a marker or a pen of some sort. You need some tape. You need a popsicle stick. You need some streamers, some string, a ruler, and a plastic bag. So we're going to start with the plastic bag. First thing I want you to do is I want you to cut at the bottom of the plastic bag here. You're going to cut across so you take the bottom of the plastic bag off. So you see right here where it's sealed. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut right above that seal. Okay, so I want to be able to open up this plastic bag a little bit. So now I can open up the bag. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the two handles at the top. 1, 2. So now the shape of my bag is now kind of more square-like, more like a rectangle. I'm going to unfold the sides a little bit. And when I unfold the sides, I can see a seam running up here, right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along the seam. So I now have one giant piece of plastic, and then I'm going to find the seam on the other side, and I'm going to cut the other seam. So now I have two pieces of plastic. Okay, I'm going to pick one piece here. I'm going to throw the other one, put the other one to the side. So I've got, unfortunately it won't all fit in the camera, but I've got one piece of plastic with a nice edge. You can see it down there. And I'm going to pull it across so you can see the other side with a nice edge all the way down. Okay, everybody got that? All right, I'm going to put my plastic to the side for now, and I'm going to get my piece of paper, your marker, and your ruler. Now, I have a really nice big ruler. If you don't have a big one like I do, that's okay. Just work with what you've got. What I'm going to do is put my ruler right here from one corner of the paper to the other, and I'm going to draw a line all the way down. Okay. Now that I've drawn a line, I need you to get your tape, and I want you to put one piece of tape in this corner. Okay. You see how I overlapped it? And I want you to overlap one piece of tape in the other corner opposite it. So this is the opposite corner. So I'm going opposite corner. Let me get that cord out of the way. There. Go to the opposite corner, put a piece of tape. I'm going to fold it over the other side. Okay. Now, I want you to put an X right in the middle. X marks the spot at the top. And I want you to put an X down here at the bottom. X marks the spot at the bottom. So we've got a line, top, bottom X's, and we've got, let me get this piece of tape off the table. A piece of tape in this corner and a piece of tape in this corner. You ready? Okay. Get your scissors and cut along the line you drew so you have 2 triangles. Now I want you to put the triangles so that the X's are both at the top. Fancy, I know. Very exciting. Take your triangle, put it over to the side, and I'm going to get my plastic bag that I just put to the side. Thank you, Lowe's, for the plastic bags. And I'm going to take one of my triangles. Now you've got a side with the tape, and you've got a side with the X. The X needs to be toward the top. The longest side of the triangle, the hypotenuse, needs to be about the same length as the bag. So if you're putting it against the bag and it's not quite long enough, keep turning your triangle. Make sure the X is at the top. Put it along the side. And what you're going to do is very carefully tape your triangle to your plastic bag. Do it slowly and carefully so everything's not wrinkled, because you want a nice, straight, smooth kite. So I have taped it from the top of the triangle to the bottom of the triangle. All right. If you've got any sticky parts sticking out, fold it around back. Now I'm going to slide my kite to the other side. And this part's a little tricky because you have an X on the top here. So you've got the X on the top, but I can't tape it like that. So I'm going to take my triangle and I'm going to flip it over. But I notice that the X, even though it's facing the other way, is still at the top. I'm going to place it right on top of my plastic bag. And I'm going to tape it down nice and carefully. You might need to have somebody hold the paper while you do it. If you can't do it in one giant piece of tape, use lots of small pieces. Make it easier on yourself. I'm going to tuck that over there, tuck that there, and I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to get my 2 skewers. So this is what it should look like. Next step, you're going to use skewers, wooden skewers, or you can use straws. It's up to you. And unfortunately, I moved my skewers. I had to go get them. I lost them. So I've got my 2 skewers here. On this side of the bag now, this side of your kite is going to be the kite that's the side of the kite that faces the planet Earth, that faces you while you're flying it. So I'm going to take my skewer and I'm going to put it right where the paper meets the plastic, right on top of that blue tape. And I'm going to use several small pieces this time, and I am going to cover up the skewer. I can still see it's there, but you can't see the wood. So I'm going to cover that up, make it a nice tight seal. I don't want to see any of the wood. Got that? Nice and tight. Then I'm going to slide it to the other side. Get another skewer. Okay. I'm going to cover it up. Lots of little pieces of tape. There's that piece. Again, I can see where the skewer is, but I can't see the wood. Here's another medium-sized piece. Cover it up. Oh, I can still see wood, so I need another piece of tape. Now, I've covered up the skewer, and I now have the skewer supports in our kite. I would like you now to take your paper punch, and if you don't have a paper punch at home, you can save this step for when you're at school and use Mrs. Kennedy's, but I'm going to punch a hole right here in this corner. Now it's very important that before you punch, you make sure you've got tape covering around that hole, because it's going to act as a reinforcement to keep the string from ripping through the paper. That's going to make your kite nice and strong. So through the tape. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to put the paper punch through. I'm going to check that I've got tape on both sides. I do, and I'm going to punch. So I now have, you see the holes. All right. Next step is going to be installing the kite tails. The kite tails we're going to use are crepe paper. Looks like this. And I'm going to need my ruler again, because I want the tails of my kite to be 2 feet long. 2 feet is the same thing as 24 inches. A regular ruler is 12 inches. 12 plus 12 is 24. So I want 2 lengths of a ruler worth of kite tail. So I'm going to measure out, there's 1 foot. I'm going to hold my finger there. There's 2 feet. Doesn't have to be exact. Then I'm going to tear it. So there's 1 kite tail. Do that again. There's 1 foot. 2 feet. Tear. So now I have a tail for my kite. I'm going to find where I put the skewer. I'm on the same skewer side. And at the bottom, see the X is at the top? At the bottom, I'm going to tape on, right on top of the blue tape, I'm going to tape on my kite tail, right like that. So here's one side. See that? Now I'm going to go to the other side. Here's my other kite tail. On the back, there's that X showing me I'm at the top. Here's the bottom. I'm going to tape the tail on. All right. So I'm going to switch cameras and show you what this looks like. Hello again. Here's your kite. So you've got the 2 paper, you've got the plastic in the middle, and you've got the 2 tails. Okay. We are going to hook, I have it backwards. So if I do it like this so I can see where the skewers are, see where the straws, if you use straws, are. This is going to be the side that faces you on the ground. We're going to put string in these holes, and it's going to fly like this. It's going to catch the air and fly really well. All right. I'm going to switch back to the other camera. We're going to tie some string. So get your string ready. All right. So here's one hole. I've got my string. Moms and dads, again, if you don't have string at home, I've got plenty in the Spark Lab. You can save this step for when they come to school. My friends, I have a hard time tying knots. You might too, so if you need an adult to help you with this step, by all means. I'm going to take the end of my string here. Take the end of my string, I'm going to put it through the hole. Sorry about Mrs. Kennedy's shaky hands. That's just the way she is. I'm going to tie 3 or 4 knots in this string. I want it to be nice and tight. I don't want it to come unhooked while we're flying the kite. That would be bad. There's 3 and 4. Okay. This part of the string is still hooked to the roll of string. And that's okay. Then what I'm going to do is spread my kite out. And I'm going to gently pull my string across. Now notice, I've got the skewer side up. Make sure the skewer side is up. I'm going to pull the string across to the other side. It's going to be tight, but not super tight, just nice and straight. And then I'm going to give myself a little more room to tie it. I'm going to cut my string off. And I'm going to put it through the hole and tie it on this side. Okay, I'm going to put 1 loop, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, one more, 4. Okay, maybe. There we go. So now I have the kite with the string. Right here in the middle, what we're going to do is attach your kite string that you have on your popsicle stick to your kite right about here. Okay, and I'll tie that on at school. You don't need to worry about that. But what you do need to worry about is a handle. So if you have a popsicle stick at home, a nice big one, you're going to use this. If you don't have a popsicle stick at home, wait until you get back to school. You can get one of Mrs. Kennedy's. Of course, we're going to take the string and the popsicle stick. I'm going to put the string kind of in the middle. I'm going to tape the string to the popsicle stick. And I'm going to wind the string around 100 times. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me wind the string 100 times. That's boring. But we'll take your handle and we'll tie it to your kite. So that is a sled kite. It's really cool. It's going to work a lot like a parachute would work if somebody was jumping out of an airplane. It's going to catch the wind here in the center part where the bag is, but you end up with a nice shaped kite. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the shape of a stingray. And when you think of a stingray moving through the water, it's very much like it's flying. So this is a really good design inspired by nature. So good luck flying your sled kite. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on Kite Day. Yay!